Welcome and thank you for joining us for Elevate Hope. Hey, we're so excited you are with us. A few things we'd love for you to do. Number one, subscribe. We'd love for you to be a part of the Elevate Hope community. Then also share. We are all about lifting the level of hope in the lives of other people. And so as we do that, and you're able to watch this video in this episode, we would love for you to share it with somebody else. So that way you can bring hope and lift the level of hope in somebody else's life. So glad you're with us. Hey, I'm really excited. Today we have Tracy Schulte, and we're talking about informed choices. She's been a part of Informed Choices for quite a while now. How long now?
3 years.
3 years. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sure you have an array of all kinds of different experiences, and there's just been so many things that you've done in our community. So I want to say thank you. You're one of our heroes here at New Hope.
Thank you.
All that you do for the community, all that you do for people who need informed choices, all the women that reach out and you're there for them. Mm-hmm. And then also just the bigger picture of doing it in the name of Christ, that you're doing something such a grand scale when it comes to really bringing hope to people through informed choices, but ultimately the heartbeat of it is Jesus. So we'd love to hear, tell us a little bit, a couple things. Tell us a little bit about yourself, then tell us a little bit about informed choices, and then how you got involved with informed choices. And go ahead, take it from here.
Okay. Well, I am Tracy Schulte. I am the office manager at Informed Choices. Thank you so much for having us and inviting us
being here
to be a part of the podcast. We're excited. I have worked at Informed Choices for 2 years, and prior to that was a volunteer, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. But Informed Choices is a nonprofit. We are a pregnancy medical clinic here in the South County. We've been here for over 30 years.
Wow.
Previously known as South Valley Pregnancy Center.
I remember that.
Our mission is to help individuals make healthy pregnancy and sexual health choices. We support women, we uphold life. That's really the essence of what we do.
Yeah.
We do it through a comprehensive network of care and education. That's kind of a fancy way of saying we provide pregnancy services, which include pregnancy testing, ultrasound services.
Wow.
We provide practical support through maternity clothes and baby items through the child's first year of life. Some of those things are small baby items. Everything is donated from our donors, some new, some gently used. We have diapers, wipes. We have a diaper kit program that we do quarterly where we give support to the people in our community.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's just, that's
a lot of services. When you think of that, you're meeting so many different needs, from the medical part to the practical things that I know when I was a parent, just buying, diapers, I mean, that's a lot just in itself financially. And I mean, from that service to the medical services, that's huge.
For sure.
Especially, you're right here in the heart of Gilroy, and it's available to anyone.
That's right.
And that is just something that you just look at and you just go, I'm so glad there's organizations that are in our city that are making a difference, and especially in this area, because this is a lot of times a need that nobody else knows about, and sometimes women would keep it to themselves.
Of course.
And you're here, so we appreciate that so much. How did you get involved? I mean, there's a lot to it, so please share that story with us.
So it's common for us to go to different churches in January during Sanctity of Life month. And that was the case. Christine Vitoni, our previous CEO, she came to one of the churches, and I happened to be there listening and hearing her testimony and what Informed Choices is all about, and just felt the Lord nudge me to get involved. Of course, life is busy, and I decided at that point that I had too much on my plate and I couldn't take on another thing.
You're a mom?
I'm a mom of 2 daughters, beautiful daughters. At that time I was homeschooling. So that was a while ago, because my youngest is getting ready to graduate from high school, so they are no longer young. So Christine reached out to me. She didn't. She definitely felt the same nudging
Wow.
that I was supposed to be involved in informed choices, and so
Was that confirmation?
it
You were
was
feeling
confirmation. Yeah, for sure. And I needed that, and so I did a volunteer training, which we have all of our volunteers go through a volunteer training. It's an orientation, so that they can learn about informed choices and how they can fit in. Their story is very much a part of our story, and then it becomes a part of our client's story. So that's a part of it, and I did and got involved, and then within maybe 6 months or so, there was an opportunity for me to come on staff, and I did, and here I am now as the office manager.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're the first person people see when they walk
right.
into the office.
That's right.
We'll talk a little bit about that
For sure.
later on, because I think that is like a key
For sure.
part of the story of your significance, being there, informed choices. You mentioned earlier that it's a nonprofit organization, and then as well, people are donating financially, and then other items to really make this organization a community thing. It really is a lot of all hands on deck.
That's right.
And you said a word. You said the services and the resources are free, and I think that's huge, because a lot of times in life, you're like, nothing is free.
Right.
What are the strings attached,
Right.
and all those things? And somebody coming in for the first time might have that. So would love for you to kind of speak to that about why is it free and what's behind that?
Yeah. So all of our services are free, no strings attached.
Yeah.
And I think our clients are sometimes surprised by that. That's a question they ask all the time. I don't have insurance right now. Am I eligible for the services? And the answer is always yes, emphatically yes.
Wow.
We never turn anyone away. We can do that because of the generous support of our donors.
Wow.
It's 100% donor based. We have a lot of church partners. To them, we're incredibly grateful, New Hope being one of them. We have individual donors who are generous, provide monthly support, which keeps the lights on and
definitely.
the staff in place so that we can provide our services.
Yeah.
We do fundraisers. So we have several fundraisers throughout the year. We're having one next on Saturday, actually, our spring fundraiser. So tune in. You can join us on informedchoices.org.
Wow.
And then we do one in the fall.
Perfect.
You can see the baby bottles here. That's
Yes.
another way that we, this is something that we tend to bring with us when we visit churches in January. Those are kind of iconic to Informed Choices and to pregnancy resource centers. This is a way that someone can just put some of their loose change in there, and that is no small thing. It's a huge support for our organization, and goes a long way to being able then to provide those free services to our clients.
Wow. And I remember you brought these to the church, and a bunch of people from our church grabbed them, and they're starting to bring them back.
Yeah.
And we're getting them over. So actually today you could take these ones with
great.
you.
Thank you.
And how can somebody get these without, maybe they're not going to a local church, but they're watching this podcast and like, I would love to get some of these bottles and fill them up and support.
Yep, they can call our center. They can reach out to us through our website, email us, or they can swing by. We're located at 66 First Street right here in town.
Perfect.
Our doors are open. They're welcome to come in, and we have them available.
Great.
Yeah.
Hey, we talked about this earlier. I think we were texting back and forth, and you said all the information given is true.
Yeah.
And I would love to learn a little bit more about that statement, all information given is true. So tell us a little bit about what that means.
Yeah, so our pregnancy services clients will come in and receive pregnancy options consultation. And all of the information given to them during that consultation is truth. And the common misconception for centers like ours and centers nationwide is that we're coercive and manipulative in an effort to try to keep women from terminating pregnancy, and that couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
All three options are presented in a loving and honest, open manner.
Yeah.
Every woman who's facing an unexpected pregnancy has three choices. She can parent, she can have an abortion, or she can choose adoption. All of the nurses and our advocates go over explore those options with them very honestly and openly, talking about both sides of it, right? It's challenging to be a parent sometimes, and we know that, right?
Yeah,
it can be
yeah,
difficult.
definitely.
It can be expensive. There are challenges that people face when they're choosing that, but there are other options. But abortion hurts women.
Yeah.
And we're certainly a life-affirming organization. And we would desire that they would choose life, but not just for the unborn, but also for themselves.
Yeah.
Abortion hurts women. And so we talk about that, the impact that it might have on them if they choose to have an abortion. And then we talk about adoption, that is a viable option and a good option if they don't feel that they can do the others. So, So everything is truthful.
Yes, I love that. Here's a thought. Let's say someone does choose, they come and they do choose to have an abortion. What's your next step with them in that? You shared that with me earlier, and I thought it was super important to hear the heart behind informed choices, even if someone does choose to have an abortion.
Yeah, so we don't provide abortion nor refer for abortion. But if a woman does, after coming in and having her pregnancy confirmed through ultrasound, does decide to have an abortion, so many of them, there's always follow-up. Our advocates and our nurses do follow up with every client. And they receive the same love and support and encouragement that anyone would receive regardless of choice. And they oftentimes will come back. They'll have pregnancies again, and they will come back and may have a different choice that they're going to make. But we encourage them. We have a post-abortive program. It's an education program that we have for women that have gone through abortion. That's so important for them to receive that healing. It's called Surrendering Our Secret. It's our SOS group. There's a group of women that are going through it right now. It's finishing up. It's an 8-week study. So someone that does choose abortion receives the same love and support and encouragement that anyone would receive regardless of choice.
Yeah, that blows me away, because that's the heart of Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And I think someone from the outside may have a different thought of how you would respond to that situation, but to hear that the response of someone that did make that choice, but still received the same support, the same love, the same care, that tells the world about informed choices is truly is there for people.
Yeah.
In any case.
Yeah, and abortion impacts men as well, and so we're finding that we're getting more and more inquiries from men who have experienced abortion in their past, right? Their significant other or partner has had it, and they're dealing with some of the hurts that come with that also. So that's something that's coming. I think that we're going to be able to provide some support to our men as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, last question for us to kind of talk and have a good conversation about. It is a Christ-centered organization and life-affirming.
Right.
And I know this, not everybody who goes to informed choices that needs help, it's not a qualification for you to be a Christian.
Right.
And just so that people know that it is open to everybody and anyone who needs the support. But tell us, and I know that you're not, when you walk in, they don't have to put their hand on a Bible or anything like that. and have to believe in all that.
Yeah.
Tell us how that works, because I think initially you'd think you'd walk in and it's forced upon, but that's not it at all. As you were sharing with me, tell us a little bit about how it's Christ-centered, but it is presented in a way that they see Christ without people getting in the way.
Yeah, and I think it starts with us, right? So they interact with the staff. And I think that's where it's first demonstrated, is we demonstrate Christ's love. So everyone is treated the same way, regardless of their demographic or their race or whatever. They come in and they're just loved on. I think we're going to talk about that a little later when we talk about some of our clients. But every opportunity we have to demonstrate it is certainly done. And that's done, I think, even with the being honest and truthful about options. I think we're not coercive, we're not manipulative, we're gentle, we're kind, we're compassionate. I love the fact that the name of the podcast, To Elevate Hope. I mean, that's really what we want, is we want to breathe hope into a situation that can seem for them very hopeless. And oftentimes that's huge.
Yes.
Right. So, and of course, in that quiet room, both in the ultrasound room and also in our consultation room, we have an opportunity to encourage them. There can be tears and sense of panic, and we'll just pray with them and encourage them. We confidentially put our clients on a prayer list, and they are prayed for. They are prayed over by over 200 volunteers that are on our prayer team. Yeah, so it's. I think that's how it's done. It's not done like you said we don't browbeat them. We walk in and hand them Bibles or any of that, but we definitely speak truth to them in love, and I think that's what we're called to do.
Yeah. And that is, it changes everything, right?
Yeah.
Once you're loved on, once you sense that this person genuinely cares about my situation, and then even above that, about me. Yeah. I think that's, Christ is seen through that.
For sure.
And this is your significant role. I said it earlier that you're the first person that people see when they walk in. And, being a mom, being a wife, being, a follower of Christ and all that, you have that, you have that ability to do that because the compassion that you have for people in general, and that motherly, that mom touch you just have naturally as well. So tell us some stories. People come in for the first time, and you get to talk with them first, but you get to hear these amazing stories. And there's been so many women that you've walked with, that their lives have been changed because of the love that you give when they walk through that first door. So would love to hear a couple stories, as much as you would like, about some stories you've witnessed. Yeah,
well, I think we have a unique opportunity being, and I say we because there is my office assistant Bethany and I are up in the front, and sometimes the volunteers are in that admin role, so they're up in the front. We have that initial encounter with our clients. And a lot of our clients will come into the center with a pretty big chip on their shoulder, and they're facing maybe an unexpected pregnancy, or they're not accustomed to feeling very loved and accepted when they come into doctors' offices. Oftentimes the treatment is very curt and short, and they come in and it's demonstrated in the way that they're carrying themselves. You can see and feel the fear, the anger, the frustration. The hurts are there and they're tangible. And sometimes as an individual, it can feel intimidating.
Yeah.
And it can kind of put you in a sense of like, ooh, but that's where the discerning work of the Holy Spirit, right, just comes in, and the darn masks keep you from being able to give that warm smile, but you do your best through your eyes to try to, just love on them, because that initial welcome is super important, and that's what we tell our volunteers, that you don't realize how important that is. And we hear it over and over again. By the time they get to the back of the office and they're meeting with the nurse, they'll say that everyone here is so nice.
That's it.
And that's huge, right? So that is the first step to begin to disarm somebody, to get them to a place where they're facing a decision, and you don't want that to be an obstacle to help them make a good choice, right? That's right for them.
That's right.
So that wasn't, that's true for a client. I called her Victoria for the purpose of the story. We keep confidentiality, so that's not her name.
Yes.
She came in for a pregnancy test. She came in for an ultrasound. And she was definitely guarded, is how I would describe it. And it was intimidating. And I really, truly believe that the opportunity that I had a choice at that point how I responded to her, and I did what I do with everybody, and that is to just welcome her, to make sure that she, and that's what I say, I'm so glad you're here. We always ask them how they found us. We're so glad you're here. We're so glad that you chose to come here. Wow. And they know by the time they leave that we're there to support them. She did have a pregnancy test. It was confirmed. She had an ultrasound. Viability of pregnancy was confirmed. And we got to journey with her through that pregnancy, helping her and supporting her with maternity items, small baby items. And the great thing about this story, Chris, is that she comes back, but she doesn't come back as a woman in need anymore. She comes back as a supporter. So she provides us with small baby items, things that she no longer needs because her baby is now grown. So That's, to me, that's the essence of what we do. We introduce ourselves to these women who are facing really difficult challenges, and life may have brought them to this place, and
Correct.
they have a lot of hurts. And we just love on them. And I think if she was here, she would tell you this place is awesome, right?
Yes.
And the people
Yeah.
loved on me and made me feel welcome.
Wow.
Yeah. And I will say there are some women that come in and they don't choose life, right? They choose to have an abortion. Some women choose, they don't choose. Some women experience miscarriage. Whether they were choosing, to parent or adopt, whatever their journey was, the relationship is no different.
Yeah.
Everyone receives the same follow-up. Everyone receives the same prayer and encouragement. Everyone receives the same level of care. Nothing changes.
Wow.
And I think that's what... that misconception that we try to be coercive or manipulative.
Yeah.
In no way are we. We're very open and honest, and we want to love on our clients and our patients.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I know there must be a lot of tears in regards to great stories and just seeing the lives, of women that they're gathering back life that seems like everything fell apart, and you see these great stories, and there must be a lot of tears of joy seeing that. And it just blows me away what you guys are able to do in the lives of so many different people. Yeah.
I think about the storytelling often because we have our monthly newsletter and we do share stories, right? That's what we do.
Yeah.
It's really a privilege that we get to be a part of someone's story.
Yeah.
That just even for a few pages, it could be a chapter, however you want to illustrate it, right? But God threads us through that story. He penned us in that story.
Yes.
And it's incredibly, it's just a huge honor for all of us. We feel that. And so we protect it, but we want to share it because, we want people to see the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living. We want them to experience the hope that comes from even a situation of chaos. And for some, that's the case. And some, it's not. They'll come in and they're excited that they're pregnant, but they still might be facing some difficulties and some challenges, right? Yeah. Life right now, is difficult for so many people. But that's our call, is to just support them and encourage and love on them as much as possible.
Wow.
For sure.
Tracy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris.
And please thank everyone back
will.
at the office.
I will.
Who's your lead? Of
so Laura Geffrey is our
Okay.
CEO. She's the executive director. And then on staff is Bethany Lira. She's our office assistant. And then we have 3 nurses actually now. Debbie Whitaker is our nurse manager. Julie Siegler is our safety nurse, and then we just hired on Lisa Matheson. So, and then of course all the volunteers, because they're not staff, but they're certainly vital to running the organization. So there's over 24 of them.
Could you please tell all of them that there are heroes, New Hope,
thank you.
we're behind you all 100%, and we're doing this together.
Thank you, Chris.
You.
Thank you very
so
much.
Appreciate you so much for joining us today. Hey, once again, thank you for being with us for this episode. Tracy Schulte, Informed Choices, and everything that they do. We just want to thank you so much. And please remember, we're all about lifting the level of hope in the lives of people. So make sure you subscribe and share and get the word out, and make sure that you lift the level of hope in somebody's life today. God bless you, and have a great rest of your day.